Well, let's get on to this latest report from Microsoft. I found it a really interesting read yesterday. It was, in fact, my phrase of the day yesterday. In fact, because why workers are struggling to cope with a seemingly infinite workday involving an increasing load of meetings scheduled at 8 p.m. or later and a near constant stream of interruptions. This is according to new research by Microsoft, the company analysing data from Microsoft 365 services, which include Outlook and PowerPoint, earlier this year. Makes for some really interesting findings, and Microsoft saying in its final report this: the infinite workday, phrase of the day, starts early, mostly an email, quickly swells to a focus-sapping flood of messages, meetings and interruptions. Okay, let's paint a picture but also see if there are any solutions. We've got the Senior Director and Business Group Leader for Modern Work and Surface Devices at Microsoft CEMA, returning to a place he knows well. Zubin Chagpar, thank you very much indeed for joining us live here on the show.
Hey, Tom, pleasure to be here.
Good to have
Looking
you on
forward to having
board.
a discussion.
Right, let's get on to solutions in a few moments' time, but let's paint a picture because we're talking here about the infinite workday and the problems it's causing. What were the findings? Talk us about the boundaries that modern workers are finding within their workday.
I think that's just it. Those boundaries are eroding. So we're seeing that people are waking up early, 6 a.m. in the morning and going through meetings, going through emails. Because of the difference in time zones and work patterns, the day is stretching. So it's going into the evenings and sometimes right up until bedtime. And we're even seeing weekend work. So this is coming from our telemetry data that we have from those products that you noted as well, too, just showing that the tools are being used often in different patterns than we've seen before. So that 9 to 5 workdays turn into maybe a 5 to 9 workday plus the weekends as well, too. And this is not a great trend when we're talking about infinite work.
The report terms it nicely, the triple peak workday as well. So 9 to 5 be gone, yeah?
It's feeling like that, yeah. And that triple peak is the idea that when are you actually getting core work done as an information worker? When are you getting things done? And we're finding that usually people are at their peak around that 9 to 1 p.m. time, maybe the 3 to 5, maybe a little bit in the evening as well. But even those are being interrupted. You noted interruptions in that workday, the core work. We're finding that on average, on a daily basis, people are getting interrupted 275 times. That's once every 2 minutes. That's not sustainable. So people aren't able to get that quality work done. And this is the trend that we're seeing, and we're trying to solve that with our customers and partners.
So there is a cost to those interruptions.
Absolutely. I would even say it's a tax. You're being taxed about 300 times a day just by being an information worker and by all these emails and chats and communications. You're turned into a reactive worker instead of a proactive worker that's creating value.
You know what's coming next, don't you? It's 2 letters that solves the world at the moment because we live in the era of AI. Surely AI will fix this.
It's going to have an impact. I just want to stress that it's not the only impact. We as organizations, leaders in organizations, we've got to change how we work, right? We've got to figure out new ways of working. And in that report, you can read about the frontier firm. And these are the firms that are embracing AI, of course, and that is part of it. But they're also embracing new ways of working as employees, as with customers, as with partners. And what I love about what they're doing is they're coalescing around the work. And the lowest common denominator, the sort of the organic unit, is the team. How does the team work together so that they can solve the problems, they can advance the organization? And this is where AI comes in.
I like that, a frontier firm. That's going to be my phrase of today as well. So what sets a frontier firm apart from a normal firm?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when you look at a frontier firm, these are firms that are embracing AI, not just as a tool, but almost as a coworker. They're integrating AI and specifically this concept called agents into the workday. Now, what is an agent? Now, we've heard about Copilot and we've used tools right now. Many of us are using even in our personal life. You put in a prompt and you ask a question and it responds back and you ask another question. And this is great. It gives you insight. What the agent is doing is that you give it an objective and then autonomously it's working. It's getting that objective done. Now, you can set up guardrails. It will ask questions or to come up with certain milestones that you can evaluate and say which way you want to go. And as you get comfortable at it, and this is where we're seeing frontier firms excelling, they're able to use agents to automate entire processes and create new value at the same time.
So it's prioritizing, like we know, but it's realigning of prioritizing.
I like that. It's realigning how we work.
Right.
Right. So when you think about an org chart, we're organized around functions and people. Think about now this concept of a work chart. How do you organize around work
I've
itself?
got another phrase of the day, a work chart now.
We're going to keep you busy. We're running out of days in the week.
Okay, so work chart. Walk me through this one.
Yeah, so the work chart is saying, okay, how do we need to solve a work item, a work endeavor? Like, for instance, if we want to do a marketing campaign, how would we organize ourselves around that marketing campaign? How would we get enough people and agents together? Now, what we're seeing is 3 phases in this. So I've talked about the fact that as an individual, you'll use something like Copilot, and you're prompted and you're asked questions and get things done. And this makes you productive. This gives you insight. It can help you write a document or respond to an email. It can help you create a presentation. That next stage about this idea of a work chart or work organization is that you start incorporating the agents as team members. And they start doing some of the work that I would call the drudgery work, the work that you would probably spend a lot of time. Maybe it's research on stuff that can be done by just saying, hey, research and tell me what the market looks like in this area that I'm aiming to enter. You put that information in, it does the work, you get the milestones, and then you go ahead and work forward. And then finally, the next stage, and this is where it gets kind of exciting, is that we see this concept of agent bosses.
No, you give me another phrase.
I knew it was going to happen.
What are you doing?
Yes. Think about this agent boss. So you as an individual, you as a worker, will manage these agents, so it'll do multiple activities. You can have a research agent that's doing all the research, an analyst agent that's analyzing, maybe a facilitator agent that's managing a meeting for you to make sure you don't miss items that you wanted to cover. All of this starts becoming where you have a whole team of agents as part of your overall team.
So that's where leadership's going at the moment, is it?
Leadership in terms of?
In terms of the agent boss, because at the moment people are being led by ChatGPT, they're being led by AI. Are you talking about individuals becoming sort of realigning their leadership role almost?
I see organizations leveraging agents to improve their processes, and not just improve, but actually rearrange their processes. So organizations like the Frontier firm will look very different, explicitly different than what we see as companies today, as they organize around what really matters. Here you can take the Pareto rule and say that 20% of the work will be done by humans that really matter, and 80% will be offloaded to agents so we can move faster and increase productivity. And Tom, this has impact not just at the company level, but at the country level too, at the region level. This will impact our productivity per employee and ultimately GDP.
30 seconds left with you, and you're going to throw another phrase at me, I know, it's coming. But what's missing from the conversation around AI and productivity? 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds. I believe it's the human element. I think that we're just dipping our toes into it. I would urge all listeners to start building their own agents. The capability, whether it's with Microsoft or another company, try out those tools, build your agents, have your agent team with you. Start feeling comfortable with this technology, because we're moving towards this world where you'll be leveraging these agents to get so much done and hopefully improve your enjoyment of what you do as well too.
Enjoyed that one. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. You've given me fuel for thought, that's for sure. Several phrases of the day for the rest of the week. Zubin Chagpar is the Senior Director, Business Group Leader for Modern Work and Surface Devices at Microsoft here in the region. Our thanks to you. This is The Business Breakfast.